다음에 캐릭터를 완료. 건강하고
I will not let you down, my boy.
어느 쪽에 있지? 아, 여기 있다.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
I have made inquiries about the men who were tracking you, Miss Howcroft.
I did not expect a mortal to have this sort of courage. Speak, Doctor. Why are they hunting me down?
It was a misunderstanding. These hunters were in fact looking for a very different creature, but they mistakenly put their sights on you.
I knew it. I have become undone. Those hunters have discovered me, but they don't know what I'm capable of.
If you'll accept some advice from a petty mortal, I think you should assume a low profile and just quietly disappear into the shadows.
You are right. And you have served me well, mortal. Take this as a reward for your time. Perhaps I will allow you to drink deep of my blood. One day.
Thank you. I'll keep that
Oh,
proposition
select
in
sample.
mind.
오.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
조사 성공 경험치는 안 줘요? 좋네. 일단 열의 약을 만들고 오자. 아, 여기로 편하게 가면 되잖아. 나 계속 층계로 올라갔어. 여기 편하게 가면 되는데, 참. 사신부가 바뀌었어? 한 달째로 채울 거 있나? 이런 거? 이용 혈액으로 던지는 건가? 그럼 좀 별론데요. 1300. 이거 몰래 갈 때 필요한 건데 별로 그렇게 위에 피해를 입습니다. 아, 500이네. 그건 또. 아, 조기화가 따로 있어? 그렇구만. 일단 에너지 비용이 PB용 얘기하는 건가? 1300? 일단 말뚝을 강화시켰으니까 괜찮은 것 같은데.
Look at it! Fish is buckled! Grenade! Get a taste of this!
와! 하하하하.
I'll kill you!
아. 으아. 샷건? 뭐야 이거? 앞으로 쭉 가서 어딘가로 꺾어. 부두. 북쪽 부두 쪽엔 나 갔던 것 같은데. 금방 움직임 이상했다.
Get their weapons ready! We found one!
미쳤냐 너? 야, 여기 있었지? 퀸인? 유교할 게 아니었는데. 뭐가 있다. 에이요. 됐고요. 이쪽으로 쭉이었나?
Ain't safe here for a gentleman. Last warning!
이 늑대 인간이 있을까?
It's an H!
구경하자, 구경. 유. 양 만들 수 있겠다.
Die, vermin!
아.
I cannot enter.
아까 열리는 거 아니었어? 여기로 안 가지면 어디로 가? 일로 돌아서 가야 되나? 밑으로 해서 올라가야 되나? 잠겼고. 응? 여기 아닌데요? 어디 보자. 이거 어떻게 해야? 이게 왼쪽으로 꺾어서 저쪽으로 꺾는 데는 어디야? 아니 뭐 이렇게 돼 있어. 이쪽으로 꺾는군. 가로 나왔는데? 아 여기 여기로 꺾어서 위로 올라가야 돼. 꺾어서 막힌 데니까 상자 먹으러 왔어? 오. 다음에 이 작은 여기는 어디야? 여기 작은데 뭔가 있을 것 같죠? 오, 여긴가 보다. 왜 온 거야? 저기 먹는 게 있는데 저 어떻게 하는 거야? 다른 쪽에서 내려오는 길이 있나?
Fuck you all! Fuck it all! Stop it now, Albert, stop it!
어?
Not me.
말 걸 수 있나?
Me?
어, 그 녀석이다.
Some piss stinking alley reeking worse than a week old lavvy.
아까 쐈어 총으로 결국.
It's locked, all right.
타일스 패트 레스쿠?
Me? I'll not die in some piss stinking alley reeking worse than a week old lavvy.
can't believe I'm doing this. It's locked.
아, 웨스트엔드.
When science fails you, this elixir will give you faith again. The Swanborough cordial can be the answer to all your problems.
Maybe it's time to see if this Christina is still working. A lot of people are talking about this Colossus. Perhaps I should
여긴데.
look into it.
Come on, Baron, you know the game. You pay for peace of mind.
Can't you just look the other way this week, Joe? Come on, we can sort it out, right?
It's not my call, Barrett. You pay one way or another.
Please, Joe.
뭐야? 무슨 일이 일어나고 있냐?
Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything. It ain't me.
All right. Perhaps the poor drunk just confused you with someone else.
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town.
벤자민 파너.
Perhaps you could help me.
I said sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. If she's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
힌트피로.
I found the recruiter you were expecting. He's dead, but he carried a note. The wet boot boys
커맨더 로즈님 웰컴 어서와요. 반갑습니다.
I knew it! I told you I was tough enough. I'll be free soon.
This note was found on a dead man, Albert. If that doesn't change your mind, then you must be ready to face the risks.
You're all fancy words, none of which concern me. Go worry about someone else. I'm fine and I have a future here.
피로.
Do you need assistance?
Please. Feeling tired these days.
There you go. Let's hope nobody steals it from you.
Very funny.
코라테스 선수.
Goodbye, young man.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets. Not me.
얘는 감기. 집에 있어야 되는 소통. 술집에 있던 사람. 너 언제 찾아가지? 근데?
What? Shooting a boy in the middle of the street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened? Who are you?
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man.
벤자민 패밀리가
Benjamin
얘기구나.
Park, Doctor. And no one can help me. Not even you.
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
You don't have anywhere to go? No family that would welcome you?
Not since the death of my wife, Albert's mother. She was sick, you see. Long before the flu and all this shit.
You mean you used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. Now I'm just Ben. Ben the Tramp.
Perhaps you could focus for a moment and tell me your troubles.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills. Everything's coming up roses.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Have you heard anything?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some pills. But the woman is a phantom, if you ask me.
Really? And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure he didn't deserve a public execution.
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy he just failed me last nerve.
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctors called me a liar. Coward. Put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. Finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of tablets.
It's a pity that doctors still practice such barbaric methods. It's a dishonor to our profession.
Now only the pills stop me thinking about this shit. To not hear the explosions. I'm even scared of the dark these days.
페인트? 현조통 이야기 없다. 현조통. 이 사람 어딨지? 감기약은 있는데.
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir. Goodbye for now.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole living in the streets.
누구시오?
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her
Camellia.
flowers.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
아, 카도간. 인터뷰. 인터뷰로.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
똑같은 거네. 분해하면은 돈이 없다.
The Swanborough cordial
feel to be the answer to all your...
Good evening, my dear colleague.
Goodbye, Miss Swanborough. Perhaps we'll talk again.
아, 저거를 안 봤다. 건강하네.
If I could get some work here. The gang is a ruin in this neighborhood, if you ask me.
내 집은 어디요? 내 집인가? 내 집 아니었어? 아, 뱀파이어가 있나 보네. 난린데? 여기 무슨 일이 있었나? 볼 게 많은 건 좋은 일이지. 반지 왜 이렇게 많이 나와? 아, 은신처구나. 이거 은신처 맞네. 두 군데가 있어요, 여는 데가? 하나만 더 있으면 되겠는데요? 자, 일부 그거네. 아, 왜래? 얘네들이 왜 여기 있어, 근데? 분명히나 힘들어. 힘드네요. 사건으로 바꿔야겠어요. 아, 일반 먹었어요. 아, 나이스. 아, 왜래? 어? 아, 미치. 이거 미쳤나 이것들이. 아, 잠깐만. 아니. 잠깐만. 아이. 아, 너 왜 그래? 너 때문에 죽었잖아, 양이. 어? 왜 일어날 시간이야, 또? 자, 물 먹어. 괜찮아? 아, 아, 야, 양이 왜 그러냐, 너. 아, 미치겠네. 자꾸 방해를 하네. 아, 나, 씨. 가서 쉬어, 거기. 응? 아, 쉬어, 거기. 앉아. 응? 거기 앉아서 쉬어. 응? 키보드 앞에 자리 잡았네. 세 발밖에 없네. 좁아, 여기. 레벨이 너무 약해. 아. 길을 퀘스트를 깨야 되겠다. 아, 경험치가 너무 시원해? 재미? 마사지 받으니까 시원해?
I have this thirst for blood. I can't believe I'm doing this. I have this thirst for blood.
I'd prefer not to give you another beating, Barrett.
Excuse me,
얘기해야
sir.
돼?
I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off!
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking
Coin
for your
Joe?
service, sir.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
Have you
티커님
heard of a
웰컴 어서 와요.
nurse named
반갑습니다.
Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane. Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Welcome, sir. Please take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis.
Barrett
Usually
Lewis.
I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
How is business around here?
Business? I have no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
Well, you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse, then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
So she's trying to help her fellow immigrants. Why would that make her a villain?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like
그럼요.
Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Right.
봐라.
Show me what you have.
와, 이런 거 판다. 와, 하나 사고 하나밖에 못 사. 파는 건 없어. 아, 더 사야 되는데. 작은 부품도 있고. 여기 있는데 5개만 팔을까? 아, 뭐야, 아야. 일단 이걸 사는 거지. 작은 일반 손잡이가 필요했나? 작은 일반 손잡이 부품. 그냥 다 팔아야겠다. 중형 근거리 사용할 수 있다고 되어 있는데. 이게 팔면 될까? 나판을 나중에 다시 사면 되잖아. 나중에 다시 사면 되지, 필요하면. $80원이네 이건.
Where's my money? I know it's hard to believe, but this district has always been wretched. And let your guard down, sir.
대화를 해봐야 될까?
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop? Burn the clothes? The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool?
Vicar Larrabee of
Under
St.
the
Mary's
shade,
Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
So you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in our country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
DNT요.
Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I sent him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
I have heard enough for tonight. Goodbye.
보자. 퀘스트가 여기 따로 있네. 아. 성공. 성공. 일단 강기.
The walls of your home will not protect you.
훌륭한 방아쇠. 조금 전까지. 작고 훌륭한 흔적의 부분. 대장전 속도가 아무래도 일반적인 방아쇠 부품 6개. 맞다. 나판이 여기서 필요한, 얘한테 필요한 거구나. 남겨놓을 걸 그랬나?
R1DENZ님 웰컴 어서와요. 반갑습니다.
세전을 다시 한번 써볼까? 또 그래. 왜 이래. 아이고. 또 그러네. 빨리. 휴. 휴. 여기 장비가 세야 된다니까? 장비 세니까 할만하네.
티커님 웰컴 어서와요. 반갑습니다.
어디야 또? 아, 여기는 거기잖아.
Turn around if I were you.
누가 애들이 또 있다는 얘기인가? 아. 늑대 인간도 다시 잡고 갈까?
More and more of these bloody leeches every night. Aye. But the guard recruits more and more every year.
얘들아. 그렇지. 나와라. 잘 싸우는지. 이? 아니 내 경험치를 안 주잖아 참. 생각 못했네. 제 아이도 저기도 저러고 있네.
The wet boots will be someday you'll understand. You've wasted your life away.
Its effectiveness has been proven by many. Even the flu is no match for the Swanborough.
Distribute flowers this time. I do not endure quietly.
그 사람 여기 있구나.
Do you remember me?
If you're here for a reward, you'll be sorely disappointed. But I'll gladly shake the hand of a fellow countryman.
I'm not here for a bounty. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed from the Pembroke.
A doctor? In Whitechapel? What an opportunity. My name's Bates. Cadogan Bates.
Do you require assistance, Mr. Bates?
Not me, but your skills could help a lot of people round here. That would help my business, because I say a live tenant's a paying tenant.
What help could I possibly be to your business?
That's simple. I already get good money from all those fleeing the war. Can you imagine what they'd be willing to pay if I could offer medical assistance too?
Mr. Bates, do not make me regret saving your life in this quarantine zone.
I understand, Dr. Reed, you're from a good family. Don't want to get your hands dirty. That's fine. I'll be happy to act as your middleman.
If I were entering into the world of street medicine, It would be on my terms and without such dubious associates as yourself, Mr. Bates.
So it's a no then. That's too bad. The Reed tonic could have really helped people, you know, save lives. Isn't that what you do? I mean, people buy that Swambra shit.
티커님 웰컴 어서와요 반갑습니다.
Tell me, what's your honest opinion of the increasing violence in London?
People are just beginning to discover what we've always known. This city's rotten to the core. They just took their bloody time to wake up and notice it.
What do you mean?
People are acting like the violence is news. But it's always been savage down here. It just bubbles to the surface every now and again.
It's unusual to see someone so happy around here, especially considering the current situation.
Why should I be sad now? There've always been wars, disease, tragedy. There always will be.
That's an unusual way of seeing things in these trying times.
I don't see why I should shed a tear for another man's woes. I'm healthy, and I intend to stay so.
What is your business exactly?
I offer fair lodgings for a modest price to the poor and weary of Whitechapel.
I see. And what about those who cannot pay?
Well, deals can be done, if you know what I mean. Money's not the only currency. After all, I'm not immune to a pretty face.
In other words, you take advantage of these poor lost souls.
Begging your pardon, I thought you was a man who could appreciate the complexity of the modern world. Things ain't just black and white, you know.
감기.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane. She's a nurse. What can you tell me about her?
Dorothy Crane, bless her soul. I really should thank her someday.
Has she treated you?
No. When I need a checkup, I'd go to a bloody doctor, not some back alley clinic full of sick foreigners.
Tell me truthfully, why are you so thankful?
By keeping my tenants alive, she's making me a rich man. Every month they live, it's more coin in my pocket.
인트요.
You seem to have recovered well since your attack. Do you ever think about what happened to you?
Not much. It was a fucking nightmare. Savages, absolute bloody savages. Their appearance. Jesus. It made me want to puke.
You'd better not come back here. I won't be around next time to save you. I want to know everything about the recent violence, Cadogan. And I want the truth.
Well, rent may be a bit high, and yeah, I've had to evict a few people. But that's business, isn't it?
I don't believe even you deserve such a cruel fate, though you have tested my patience beyond its limit.
Glad to hear. Nice to know there's another civilized individual in these parts. Not like those bloody savages.
Since I took an oath to help people, can I be of assistance?
Well, seen better days, that's for sure. But it was bound to happen with all these refugees about.
Infecting you is probably the last thing on these people's minds. Take this, in any case.
What? You give me this for free? Don't have a clue about this place, do you?
회복 중.
Goodbye, Mr. Bates.
아, 여기 가려다 말았지, 참. 계십니까?
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to. I must insist, sir. Please let me see Nurse Crane.
I have no time for you, sir.
행동조사하기. 번지요. 아니 어디로 갔는데?
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be from Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nithercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Clayton Darby?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
그런 거 맞지?
We even used to be neighbours, for Christ's sake.
I'd prefer not to give you another beating, Barrett.
응?
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
I served in France. Our top priority must be to put an end to this butchery. This war must stop now.
Sir, streets are a battlefield too. An invisible and untold war is going on, and it must be stopped.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
I'm convinced there is more at work here than a simple epidemic.
Really? To be honest, I could say the same. Some of the sick I saw or heard of. My God, what happened to them?
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm afraid one of the nurses from the Pembroke Hospital may be involved with unsavory activities.
Ah, could it be Dorothy Crane?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious, never goes out, doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
친척이 없다고요?
He has no relatives at all?
No, except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
피로?
Do you need assistance?
That would be nice of you, Doctor. Who knows what I may have caught you in my investigation.
내가 있었나?
If you persist in investigating the most pox-ridden boroughs of London, you must accept the risks.
Thank you, sir.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
인물들이 하나씩 나오고 있어. 일단 됐고 칼이. 아, 또 그러네. 아, 왜 이래? 왜 이래? 아, 이걸로 안 해놔서 그렇구나. 미치겠네. 아, 미치겠네. 자식이 내 피를 빨아? 나도. 에이씨, 너도 당해봐. 난 이렇게나 많이 있다니 말이야. 나쁜 나왔다. 4개 해야 되는데 하나는 살까? 여기야? 얘 어떻게 여기 왔는데 멀쩡하지? 여기서는 못 여네. 쇼컨 열린가?
Morbidity can breathe its own beauty and grace.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
감기.
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in the city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
Yes. The enjoyable silence of the grave. You have a unique perspective on the situation, I must admit.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you for a start, my dear doctor.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much, and that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives, how she survives, whom she may know?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles and the arid hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox, the stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
Did you know the mute florist is a member of a secret society?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir. For it only enriches the mystery surrounding the precious camellia.
Are you not curious? Is there not more you wish to know?
That girl has not an ounce of malice in her. Whatever she may be hiding, it's certain to be for the benefit of most, if not all.
I fear you are a hopeless romantic, Mr. Nethercott.
Guilty as charged, Dr. Reed.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
It may be wise to let you prescribe me something. I don't feel like I should.
I understand your appetite for words and macabre. But you should be more...
The nutrition of my mind is more important than my physical health. But I appreciate your concern, sir.
I'll leave you alone, sir.